There might be a lot of reasons why you struggle to complete tasks or even get started on tasks. You might be a little bit like me and just put way too many tasks on your list. If it's the weekend and I've got some chores or different things that I want to get done, I'm probably going to wind up with like 20 or 30 different things on that list. At work, you may have way too many tasks that you've been asked to do and the amount of time that you have to do them in your workday. When you do that and you start looking at these tasks and you figure out, I don't have enough time to do these things, you start to get stressed, anxiety starts building up, and you start feeling very, very overwhelmed. For me, when this happens, I start coming up with ways to avoid the tasks that I have on my list. I'll start making excuses why I can't do this task right now or that task right now. Maybe it's that I have to do this one first and it's not the right time to start that one for whatever reason I've come up with in my head. If it's the weekend and I have chores to do and errands to run, I might think that it's too hot outside. It's raining outside. There's too much traffic right now at that particular place. The place isn't open right now. That's a valid one. But you come up with all these reasons why you don't want to do the tasks right now because you know you're not going to get all of them done. So it's like, well, which one do I not do at this point? That just gets you into a whole bad loop in your head about all the different things that you're not going to get done. You start guilting yourself over it, and it's just a bad road to go down. When you do get overwhelmed, again, if you're like me, you're probably just going to distract yourself completely from the tasks. I just need a break. I need to just step back for a little while. That little while usually turns into an hour or two, or maybe the entire day, where you've done nothing but sit and play on your phone, play on your iPad, you've watched Netflix or something like that. Not productive. So how do you move past that when you have a lot of tasks and you can't figure out which one to start with? So it's taken me a long time to figure out this process for myself, and I just wanted to share it. It's a pretty simple process to get yourself actually doing something. The first thing that I do, and probably the most important thing, is I out loud say to myself, stop. I literally stop where I am. I stop moving around. My brain stops for a minute. And I also tell myself, breathe. Like, stop and breathe. You have to stop the momentum that's going in your head. You have to physically stop yourself and ground yourself for a second. I breathe just to release some of the tension that I've got going on. Sometimes, depending on how anxious I am, I might do 2 or 3 breaths before I move on to the next step. But just stop, take a deep breath, and then move on to the next step. So the next step is I usually take about 5 slips of paper because, again, I have way too many things that I have on my list to do. You can pick 2 or 3 pieces of paper, and I write down a task on each one of those little slips of paper. It can be off of the list that you're working off of to get done. It can be the first few things that pop into your head. As long as they're productive, then they can go on one of those slips of paper. Once you get them all written down, you fold them up, you toss them in a bowl or a hat, toss them around, and you pick one. You open it up, you read it, and you do it. As soon as you open it up, as soon as you read it, you need to start doing that task. Now, if you take a few minutes to think about it, or even less than 30 seconds to think about it, you're probably going to talk yourself out of it. So here's another little tip. I actually started doing this before I read Mel Robbins' book, The 5-Second Rule, which I just finished. It's fantastic. If you have not read it, you need to. But what I started to do was I would open up the piece of paper and I would go 3, 2, 1, go. And I would have to actually start moving toward that task as soon as I hit go. Her rule is very similar. She says it takes 5 seconds for you to talk yourself out of. I am an overachiever apparently and could talk myself out of it within 3 seconds. So I need to shave off a little bit. But just give yourself 5 seconds, 3 seconds, whatever works for you. Read what you're going to do, 3, 2, 1, and start doing it. What this is going to do is it's going to help to quiet the voices in your head that are trying to talk you out of the tasks and stir up all these different things in your head. It's going to allow you to focus on the task itself. It's also going to create momentum and action. You're going to feel good about yourself because you actually are going to be able to mark one of those things off of your list. And with that momentum, you're going to be motivated to do the other tasks that are on your list. So after you get done with that first task that you have on your slip of paper, whatever it was, if you cannot pick the next task that you need to do, if you're not clear enough to be able to pick the next task yet, what you need to do is just pick another slip of paper. Keep doing that. Keep going through the bowl, picking pieces of paper until you've finished all of those tasks. If that was all you had to do, awesome. If you need to start over again, pick 5 more pieces of paper and start the whole process over again. It works. I've gotten to the point now where I don't even need to use the pieces of paper. I notice myself getting anxious and getting stressed early enough to where I can stop myself and I can pick a task immediately, whatever it is, without having to use the slips of paper. But this is a great little process that I've figured out from trying a lot of different things. Hopefully you'll try it. It will work for you. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and also make sure that you go get that book from Mel Robbins, The 5-Second Rule. And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.